Tina Turner is a legend of rock music, revered for her stage presence, high-energy shows, and powerhouse voice. But there was a time when she almost lost it all. The music industry wrote her off as an old-fashioned has-been who would never amount to anything without Ike. This is the story of how Tina fought back, proved herself an artist in her own right, and how she staged one of the greatest comebacks in music history.
I had nothing. I had absolutely nothing. 36 cents, that was all. I didn't think about the singing at all. First of all, I was thinking about where I was going to lay my head, so to speak.
Yeah.
By 1976, Tina Turner was fighting to survive, both professionally and financially. Newly separated from Ike, she found herself alone raising their 4 children. She was heavily in debt, owing money to promoters due to the cancellation of previously contracted Ike and Tina Turner concerts. She spent her days living in fear. The electrifying woman who had sold out venues only weeks earlier was now hiding in friends' homes to avoid her abusive ex-husband, cleaning to pay her way after Ike had cut her off financially. Tina lived like this for 4 months, slowly rebuilding her confidence after the traumas she'd suffered during her 16-year marriage. But, as we all know, Tina was a fighter, and it was time for her to take control of her career. Still, there were doubts. Could Tina Turner amount to anything without Ike? She would struggle to be taken seriously, taking any work offered her way to make ends meet. Tina appeared on TV shows such as Donnie and Marie, The Sonny and Cher Show, and Hollywood Squares. A far cry from the large stadiums she'd played with Ike, she also secured solo bookings in small venues, headlining cabaret shows where she would sing cover songs. The shows were well regarded by audiences, but booking agents still doubted her star quality. Suddenly, the booking agents didn't think I had the ability to work without Ike, she said. It was like starting over again. Tina's initial solo album sales would only cement some opinions of her being a has-been. In 1978, she released Rough, her first solo album after divorcing Ike. The album covered mostly blues and disco songs, delivered with a rock edge, an indication of the direction she wanted her career to take. Critics welcomed the album, praising its production values and the power of Tina's voice. But it was a commercial disaster. The album flopped, failing to chart on the Billboard 200. Her next album would perform even more miserably. 1979 saw the release of Love Explosion. By then, the label's confidence in Tina had all but evaporated, and the album wasn't even released in the US. It failed to chart anywhere. Shortly after Love Explosion's release, her US record label was taken over, and changes were made. Following the poor performance of her 2 latest solo albums, the new executives made a decision. Tina was to be dropped. In America, Tina Turner's recording career appeared to be over.
But then when I changed management and I sat down and talked to Roger Davies, he believed in me, or else he would not have taken the time.
Despite her declining popularity, there was still strong demand for her live shows, audiences drawn to her high-octane performances. And it was during one of these shows where Tina's fortunes began to turn. Following an appearance on Olivia Newton-John's 1980 TV special, Olivia's manager, Lee Kramer, expressed an interest in representing Tina. She was due to perform a 2-week residency at the Venetian Room in San Francisco's Fairmont Hotel, so she invited Lee and Roger Davies, another manager at Kramer's firm, to attend a show. The performance would be make or break for Tina. After much delay, Lee and Roger made it in time to watch Tina's final 2 performances in San Francisco, and they were impressed with what they saw. During her second set, it was clear that Tina still had tremendous power over an audience. The crowd went wild during the show, singing along, dancing on tables. Such was the energy in the room that Roger later recalled that the chandeliers were shaking. It was an easy decision for Lee and Roger. Immediately after the show, they agreed to represent Tina and spent the next few months working with her to modernise her act for the 1980s. Tina would soon be back in business. Work on Tina's new era was underway. She wanted to pivot away from disco and embrace her rock roots. With her new management, she hired musicians to help realise this vision. Together, they stripped back the disco material in favour of a tougher, grittier sound that suited Tina's vocals perfectly. The new sound still developing, Tina was still without a US record deal. Roger knew that the key to getting Tina back on the world stage was to create a buzz around her. And in May 1981, this plan was set into motion at New York's most famous rock club, the Ritz. The 3 nights proved a huge success for Tina. The club was packed with rock fans, far removed from the supper club crowds Tina had been performing to in Vegas. She performed classic hits from her Icon Tina Turner days, including Nutbush City Limits and Proud Mary. Tina also mixed in popular covers by the Rolling Stones and the Beatles, stamping the material with her own distinctive flair. The moment marked a turning point in her career. The industry and the press started to give her their attention. The Village Voice hailed Tina Turner the finest female rock singer today, lamenting the fact that Tina Turner doesn't currently have a record contract smacks of ageism. Tina performed at the Ritz again the following October and received an equally enthusiastic reception. In attendance that night was Rod Stewart, who invited her to join him on Saturday Night Live, which would reintroduce her to homes across the nation. Their performance was widely considered the highlight of the episode. Tina's next boost would come from an unexpected opportunity.
I find myself attractive, I'm healthy, and I'm talented. I can stand with anyone, no matter the color and no matter the power.
In 1982, the electronic outfit BEF enlisted James Brown to sing a cover of The Temptations' Ball of Confusion for an upcoming album. At the last minute, the backing track already finished, Brown withdrew. The project in disarray, Ken Berry, an executive at their record label, Virgin Records, suggested they hire Tina. She was an obvious choice. Martin Ware, one half of BEF, had already seen her perform in London. I was blown away by her talent and energy, he recalled, and I thought, well, if anybody can do it, Tina could. And Tina indeed proved she could. She cut the vocal in one day. Ball of Confusion was released only in Europe, but it became a club smash and aired on the fledgling music station MTV, making Tina one of the first black American artists to ever appear on the channel. Tina's European success made US record labels sit up and take notice. In 1983, Capitol Records A&R executive John Carter was being interviewed by a journalist. When asked to name 3 artists he'd like to produce, he named Tina as one of them. That realisation spurred him to attend Tina's show at the Fairmont Hotel in San Francisco, where he found her performing for a sold-out, mixed-age crowd. Tina was still being embraced by new audiences despite the lack of a US record deal. This encouraged John to catch another of her shows in Las Vegas. And although the show was a more subdued affair due to it being attended by a business crowd, it finally happened. After being rejected by 20 record labels, Carter offered Tina a US record deal. But Capitol were not happy. Many at the label were outright hostile to the decision. One unnamed executive said he would overturn Carter's move to sign Tina, even using racial slurs against her as he threatened to reject her from the label. The executive contacted Tina's manager, Roger, to tell him the deal was off. But Carter was determined to sign Tina, even dropping to his knees in front of the executive and begging him to honour the deal, call Roger, and tell them it had all been a mistake. The executive begrudgingly agreed, but said they would only put minimal effort into promoting Tina, believing her new music would be dead on arrival. But she was about to get support from one of the biggest artists in the music industry. While Tina's managers were negotiating with Capitol, David Bowie was in New York to sign with EMI, the parent company of Capitol Records. The label offered to take him to dinner that evening, but he declined. Instead, he planned to watch a performance by his favourite singer at the Ritz, Tina Turner. Thanks to his endorsement, more than 60 Capitol employees, including executives, joined him for the show. I became infinitely more interesting to them after I got David's seal of approval, Tina later said. Bolstered by her recent hit Ball of Confusion, that night's show drew an even bigger crowd than her 1981 appearance, with stars such as Rolling Stones guitarist Keith Richards and tennis bad boy John McEnroe in attendance. Everybody was blown away. After the set, they packed into the club's small VIP room with Tina plying Bowie with champagne, the impromptu all-night party ending in Keith's hotel room at dawn the next morning. The electric response gave Capitol a long overdue wake-up call. Tina was no has-been. She was someone worth investing their time and money into. Loved by the public and celebrated by her contemporaries, she proved that she didn't need Ike to make her a success. For me, that night at the Ritz was the equivalent of going to the ball, minus the part about Prince Charming, because it changed my life dramatically, Tina later said. She soon began work on Private Dancer, the album that would propel her back to superstardom, and gave her 3 Billboard Hot 100 hits, including the number 1, What's Love Got to Do With It. Over the following 5 decades, Tina would go on to become one of the most successful solo artists of all time, releasing a string of multi-million selling albums and earning numerous honours, including multiple Grammy Awards and a 2018 Lifetime Achievement Award. Tina proved all her doubters wrong. She stayed at the top of her game, inspiring many artists in the ensuing years, before she passed away on May 24, 2023. Tina Turner died a legend of the music industry.